All right, I think we're going, Zachary. I think we are live. All right, everybody. Sorry, I'm still new to this setup, so I'm trying to figure it out. Welcome in, everybody. I am Crazy Thing, the Airbrush guy. I hope you get to enjoy my videos. I usually make videos that show you what I worked on today or yesterday and tell you about the projects and the cool people I get to airbrush for. This video is going to be a little different. I can show you some cool artwork. Look, it hadn't been long ago since I finished this pumpkin. Uh, I do a lot of cool stuff. I do canvas work. I know this camera isn't that good. Sorry, not sorry. I do a lot of shirts and hoodies and license plates as well. Pretty much anything. Doesn't matter to me. I'll airbrush it. But what's up, Ronald? How you doing? Today I wanted to go over one of the questions that I keep getting over and over, and that's, you know, cleaning up the airbrush guns. And I've made a few videos of doing a quick clean on these guys. This one is cleaned out, but I want to show you how to take it all the way apart. Gloria, how you doing? Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Every time you guys comment, it helps, especially on here, my Facebook, my TikTok. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I've got water in this, okay? Just to start out, I'll show you guys what's going on, okay? This is an Iwata Eclipse, the master of airbrush guns. I love them. They are awesome. I have 4 of them in my arsenal right now that I'm currently using. Yep. Okay. If I was going to suggest to you on any airbrush gun to get, this would be it. The only other thing I ever run is the Master Airbrush, and I consider that a throwaway gun because after several uses, I will get rid of it. Once it starts giving me problems, and once it starts wearing out, yeah, I get rid of it. Maybe one day I can get you to airbrush me something, Gloria. I would be honored. I know you've been a fan for quite a while, and you comment on all my stuff, and I appreciate that so much. I'd love to get an order from you. So guys, this little bad boy right here, it's an amazing tool if you'll take care of it, okay? It is a double action. It has I have a quick disconnect on all my stuff to make it quick to connect and disconnect. So that's where your air comes in. I'm going to try to keep this basic so that for you guys that are really, really new, you'll have an understanding. So your air comes in. I run between 25 and 30 psi consistently. So, when you ask, well, what kind of air compressor, what size, and how big, and how much psi, it doesn't matter what brand name you buy. If you can consistently get 25 to 30 psi consistently, then you'll be good to go. Okay? Now, when I say consistently, that doesn't mean it runs down and then picks back up and runs low and then picks back up, because then all your mechanics, your airbrush paint and whatever you're using, it's gonna go up and down and up and down. What's up, Darren? What's up, Wendy? How you guys doing? So, all right, we've established you need air for your airbrush gun. You probably knew that already. This is a top feed airbrush gun. It's the only kind I use. They make some that have a gun on, or they have the cup on the side. Those are really cool too, but I've never used one. They also have the siphon feed, where it siphons it up and feeds it into. I've never used one of those, so I don't have the experience. That's the thing about this video. This is not a how-to video as much as it's a how I do it. How does Crazy Thing do his work? That's what I'm here to show you, okay? So, with this is a clean gun with water in it. Here's your trigger. Okay? Just starting out, that's all you need. Put some water in it and practice. People say, why would you do that? You're not going to paint. Right, you don't have to worry about cleaning it out either. So when you buy your gun, pour you some water in it, start spraying. Get you a piece of paper, get you a piece of cardboard. What you're doing is learning, how do I hold it? How do I control it? How do I get those lines straight? How do I get the dagger strokes and little circles that I want? All that stuff. Why not use water? Save yourself some trouble. Save yourself some cleanup. You want to learn trigger control and how to hold it correctly. Get that muscle memory in your hand where you can airbrush in your sleep. Oh, write your name right here. Did you see that? That's your name right there. Did you see it? You didn't even realize that was your name. I just did. So guys, there's your trigger, okay? When you push that trigger down, that's what pushes the air out, okay? The air travels in here and it, when you pull that trigger. Now when you pull back on that trigger, that's when it releases your paint or water or whatever you happen to have in it. So watch, I'm going to do both. I'm going to push down and then pull back. See that? Isn't that cool? I know it's fun, right? It's exciting. I love it. So, you can have a little stream or a big stream. See the difference? There's little, bigger, little, bigger, and everything in between. That works the same way with paint, guys. Yep. See it in my beard? Little and big, back and forth as I move the trigger back and forth. I'm pushing the trigger down and back and forth. So, a lot of you have probably already figured all that out. So we got that part out of the way. Okay. Take your top off and make sure that dude is clean. Make sure that the hole in the center of it, that you can see through it, it's not blocked by any means. You do not want that hole blocked, because it can, it's a release. If you have any back pressure at all, it has to come up through the cup and out that hole. If that hole's not there, then it has nowhere to go but to shoot that top off. And it'll boop. It's fine and dandy. It ain't that big a deal. It doesn't come off like a rocket, but sometimes if this is full of paint, paint comes with it. You don't want to eat the paint. Don't matter what kind it is. You don't want to eat it. Trust me. Yeah, trust me. I know. All right. So we're going to take this dude apart. I took the top off. Now I'm going to take the back off. You just untwist this. Comes right off. Easy enough, right? I'm going to save this for my parts. I'll show you that in a moment. This is your needle chuck. And now these words that I use, I am not a wordsmith. I might get the exact wording incorrect. I'll just call it whatever I call it. You call it whatever you want to call it. And just go with the visual. I call this my needle chuck. Okay? Because see, my needle won't come out. But I can unscrew this. And it doesn't hurt to go ahead and take it all the way off. But you can loosen that. Set it down here, and now the needle will come out. And you're going to want to go nice and straight with it. Don't pull it at an angle or you're going to end up bending that needle. It's got to go nice and straight. And see how that works? And that needle, that's everything. You need that needle nice and sharp. Careful when you set it down. Don't set it down on its edge, okay? Set it down nice and flat. Okay, I just got attacked by a huge, big bug. I think it's going to kill me. So the airbrush, I think, saved me. See? Multi-use. None of my hat, is it? I don't know where it went. Alright, well, if this is my last video, I hope it helps somebody. Alright, guys, we got the needle out. We're good. So, now I'm going to take the needle cap off. That is the furthest piece on the end of your gun. That is a needle cap. Only purpose is to protect the needle, because that needle comes out of the gun right there. Which I can't show you that because the needle's already gone. But I'm going to take that needle cap, set it down. Alright. Continuing with the front of the gun, if you notice, I can take every bit of this apart by hand. I like to keep it that way. If you tighten this with a pair of pliers, you're going to have to untighten it with a pair of pliers. You will set those threads to a point where it'll have to be tightened up every time. Tighter and tighter and tighter. Okay. Now you may want to do this upside down, especially on an older gun, because that will fall out. There's nothing holding that in there. But I've got this piece. I just unscrewed it right off. There is an O-ring right here. I've never had to replace that yet in the 8.5 years I've been airbrushing. But there is an O-ring right here, so be careful with it. That seats and seals this when you tighten it back. Remember how I told you I'm going to save the cap for parts? There it is. We'll take this part off. I'm going to put it in that cap. See that? Now I'm going to fill that full of water so that any paint or anything that's in it cannot dry up on me. So now that is full of water and parts. Multitasking. I love it. Yep. All right. Now at this point, the only thing holding your trigger in is your needle. The needle runs through your trigger. So your trigger will actually pull right up. Now, you see this little dangly googler thing? Yeah, that's the exact definition. Dangler googly thing. See how it just dangles? When you're going to put this back in, you kind of got to feel for it and make sure it goes back in the hole correctly, okay? You can see what it'll do here. I'll show you outside the airbrush gun. Is it'll go in and it'll sit right back in the hole. And that's probably the hardest part, is to get that back in there where it's in the hole. Okay, now, only thing we got left is to unscrew this part here. Now, there is a spring in here. I've never had a problem with it boing and going everywhere, nothing like that. But there is a spring, so be aware that once you start taking this apart, see that little foot right there? That foot rests in here. So you might have to kind of work it out at an angle a little bit. When you put it back in, you'll have to kind of put it back in like that, okay? So now we're hollow. The reason you can't see completely through it is there is like what I call the needle packing right here, which is like a set of, I think, Teflon usually, like seals that needle seats into. So here's the piece we just took out, guys. The spring is inside it. Okay, that's all there is to it. See, spring loaded. Set that down. Set that down. Now this little foot right here, this is what helps your trigger. That's what keeps your trigger from being just one big stiff piece of metal. That gives it a pivot so that you've got room with your finger to move it up, down, back and forth. It all pivots right there on that foot. There are some of your cheaper, not as good airbrush guns. This is not connected. It's a separate piece. So when you take it apart, that little piece right there goes somewhere every time, whether it's the floor or inside your gun. But yeah, it tends to find places to go. That's not any fun. But you don't have to worry about that with the Iwata Eclipse. I told you they're good. They are awesome. Bobby, what's up, Unstoppable? How you doing? So, I would advise you to get some of these airbrush cleaning brushes right here. They come in different sizes. As you can see, this one is well used. Don't force anything, okay? The reason these are still pretty straight is because I don't force anything. Find the size you think you need. If it goes in there way too easily, go to a bigger one. With that size like that right there, nice and snug, not pushing very hard, that goes right in there, cleans it all out. Clean out the outside of it, the inside of it, everything you can see definitely needs cleaned. Everything you can't see that you want to try to get to, clean it. There's no seals or nothing in there. That's completely hollow. Go right in there, clean it out. Only thing this really does is guide your needle. Get it good and clean, squeaky clean. Okay. Same thing with your spring. You may not know it, but no good to have your spring all dirty, messing up. Clean that spring inside and out. I've already cleaned all this, but I'm just showing you. Took all these parts all the way apart for you. You can soak them if you need to. Soak them in water. Soak them in airbrush cleaner. That's really about all you need to do if you're an acrylic airbrush artist like myself. If you get into other kind of harsher paints, you'll need harsher chemicals. You'll have to look that up and see what you need to clean those items with. Me, nothing bad goes in my airbrush gun. I don't put any harsh chemicals in it. Every now and then, I don't even use airbrush cleaner very often. I use water 90% of the time. So this little guy here is very important to clean out. All these parts are important, but this one right here, the one you saw me take out, very important to get it clean inside and out. Take a couple minutes, clean on it. Okay, it's not going to hurt anything. Take a few minutes, get it good and squeaky clean. Don't force anything. Hey, there's a train with a horn. He loves our horns. But once you get it good and clean, if you got a good set of eyes, you can actually see right through this dude. Know it's good and clean. So, now what we have here is a disassembled airbrush gun. What are we going to do? I got an idea. How about I show you how to put it back together? And we'll see if it works. You still with me? Did you get your airbrush gun apart? Do you need to rewind it? Watch me do it again? It's not a problem. Cool thing about modern technology. If you want, see if you can use that modern technology to mute out that train over there. Every day. There's my airbrush gun. That's what's left of it. The only thing left every day. How did they know I'm on video? There's a spy around here somewhere. Maybe it was that crazy killer bug. Maybe he'd come in here and say, hey, he's on video. Hurry, let's go get the trains going. I don't know, but it's a conspiracy. I just know it. So, the only thing left is your trigger inside here, your trigger valve that the trigger will set in. That is right in here, and like a valve stem. Because that's it. Because I can take all this off too if you need to. You shouldn't need to clean any of this. Paint should never get down here. See, that's like, looks just like a valve stem. Because that's really all it basically is. And then you can hook a straight hose to this if you want to, but like I said, I use quick disconnects on everything. So, you can clean inside here as much as you want. Squirrel! It's the trains. They're driving me bonkers, and it's a short drive. Well, it is a crazy thing, by the way. Yeah, if you come in here surprised, you came into Crazy Things video wondering why you acts crazy? What? You should be able to take even this little crooked looking little dude right here. Should have no problem going all the way in there, all the way back out. I like to run through my fingers, make sure I don't see no color, no paint. Me personally, this is my black gun. I only use black paint in this gun, so I'm not going to be cleaning it and find some yellow. I'm not going to be cleaning it and find some white. There's not going to be any red chunks in it. Nothing. But use your eyes to physically look inside it. If you see anything, get you a little brush, blow it out, brush it out, whatever it takes. Get that dude as clean as you want to get it. The more you clean, the better it will work for you. So we're going to put this dude back together. Okay. If you remember, the train's not moving. It's like sitting on top of my shop, just setting the horn on. How do they know I'm on video? It's live video. I can't change it. I can't. Bear with me, guys. This is real life for a crazy thing. You wonder why I'm crazy? So, this is the last thing we took out. So, it's going to be the first thing we put back. Remember, take this piece, the one with the foot on it. Put your spring on. Don't forget your spring. Ta-da! That's it. You stepped up right here to hold your spring. See? Easy. Put the threads on first. Ta-da! See how that works? Now, remember, that foot, top of that foot, is going to be sticking out here for your trigger. So, that's all there is to it. Snug that up. There it is. It's ready. Now, the hard part I was telling you, the hardest part is your trigger. Trigger has a flat spot on one side. Trigger looks normal on this side. Got a indentation right here. That indentation needs to be facing the rear. If you get that wrong, it's not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. It just gives you that extra little bit of room to not bottom out your trigger. I'm going to go ahead and put the needle chuck back on to give me something to pull on. So now I can pull it out like that. See my foot open right here? See that? So I'm going to open it up so I can put the trigger in front of it. It's not hard, it just sounds complicated. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to set the trigger in. Now, I did it first time. Test it like that. You know it's in there. You know it's hitting. You know it's hitting everything you need it to hit. Sometimes it takes a little finesse. It's okay. Don't let it get you aggravated. Yeah, I know. I've been there. So I'm going to hold this dude upside down. There's that crazy bug again. Yep, it's a conspiracy. I knew it. Go away. Go away, crazy bug. Stop it. Crazy bug. Did you see that? Yep. Almost died again. Alright, well, maybe I got 9 lives today. And I just used 3 or 4 of them up. Did you see me smack him? He's like, he's probably going to get his friends and getting some backup. Alright, we better get this done before he shows up with reinforcements. Alright. Put this dude back where I found it. Finger tight, okay? I'm going to snug it. Tightens up against that O-ring that I showed you. And that's it. That's all you should have to do. We're almost done, guys. Go ahead and put your needle cap back on. You don't have to. But if you're worried about that needle, go ahead and put it back on. Needle cap is back on. Yeah, you got to make that noise. Alright, here comes another tricky part. That needle needs to go straight in. Okay? I'm going to put my thumb right here. If it gives you resistance, that means you're either hitting something or your needle chuck is too tight. So you might want to back it off where it's just barely on there, right? So I use my thumb as a guide. It's kind of weird to do it on camera, but there we go. So now it should easily push in there. And you feel, okay, I'm all the way to the end. Now what I'll do, I give it a little tap. Tap. Make sure it's all the way in there. Finger tight. Sit snug, right? Now it will work just like this all day long. It works. I'm gonna put my top back on, nice and snug. Put my back on. All this is doing is protecting my needle. I used to take these off all the time just to make this lighter when you're holding it all day, you know. Again, finger tight. That's all you need. You don't need to stress over it. Nice and just barely finger tight, and that's it. I used, how many tools did you see me use? Water and this. And I completely disassembled this, other than the seals on the inside. I completely disassembled this and I completely cleaned it out, put it back together, using some brushes and some water. Because I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to get you to put any chemicals in here or to get you to use some kind of certain paint. Stuff, Logan. I know, Bobby. It's those trains. I think the trains and those bugs, they know each other. They're in on this. Yep, but it's okay. I'll make do the best I can. Guys, I have been airbrushing since I got my very first one of these 8.5 years ago. I have been doing it ever since. I absolutely love these tools and what I can do with them, and I'm learning every single day. I really hope that this video was able to help somebody. If you need some recommendations on where to get stuff, a lot of my stuff comes from Coast Airbrush. No, I am not sponsored. They are an amazing company to get stuff from, and the customer service has been impeccable. So yeah, if you need anything, go to Coast Airbrush. The Iwata Eclipse is definitely the airbrush gun to use because I airbrush cars, trucks, motorcycles, helmets, clothes, license plates, canvases, side of a building. I did a rock last week. I have some display bowling balls in here, pool balls. I have some speakers in here that I mean, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter to me what it is. I'll airbrush on it. I'm going to call this video Training Day. It's crazy. Go away. Just go away. Why won't the trains just go? Riding on the crazy train, guys. I'm out of water. That's another thing. When I store my guns, I like to store a little bit of water in the end of them. Just a little bit. That way, some chance I did miss something, it'll stay wet. But I use mine every day too. That makes a big difference on storage. Never let them freeze. Never let your paint freeze. I take everything out of the shop in the wintertime and I put it in the house. Thank you, Logan. Yeah, don't let your paint get too cold. Imagine if you put water in here and you let it sit outside in your garage or your shop or outside for that matter in the wintertime. The water is going to expand when it turns to ice, and there's no telling what kind of damage you might do inside these guns. So, got to be careful with that. Guys, if you need anything from me, I am available on Facebook. I am available on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can find a lot of my work at crazythingart.com. I seriously doubt you're watching this video because you want work from me. You wouldn't watch me clean out an airbrush gun for 30 minutes just for information, but just in case, you can go to my Etsy shop. The link's probably in the video. And guys, I've got a lot more videos for you to check out, so please make sure you do that too. Thank you for all your support. And if this video helps you at all, even if it's just, watching me almost die from the crazy bugs, but even if it just made you smile, please give me a comment. Let me know. Thank you so much. I'm going to call this video finished. I will catch you in the next one.